Hey, Creataholics. I want to talk today a little bit about consciousness and fractals. Now, in the Hermetic philosophy, they talk about fractals as consciousness. So the concept in that philosophy is as above, so below. So when you think of what a fractal is a perfect balance of chaos and order. It's you have a tree up top, and what's underneath is the roots. And that's exactly what the symbol is for that as above, so below is it's the tree of life. You see what you see above, and then everything below matches that. So when you go into nature, why do you feel good? Why do you feel, energized? Why do you feel introspective? I'm assuming you do. I do, and I know a lot of people like, I got to get to nature. I got to get to the ocean. I got to go into the woods. It's because when you're in nature, you're staring at fractals, and fractals are like a physical form of consciousness. And consciousness is what is the center point of our biofield. It's the center point of everything that is around us. And the more conscious we are, the more powerful our energy is and our biofield that runs through our body, which I'm going to talk about at a later podcast. So we want more of that consciousness in our life. And fractals are interesting because when you create something, what you're doing is you're putting a part of you into it. And I have a story about that I'm going to tell in a second, but you're putting a part of you in it. And what I like to think about is you're putting consciousness in it. If you're in a conscious space where you are focused on something and you're doing it from a conscious, intentional heart, you are putting these fractals in that then can be received on the other side. Think about what happens when somebody you really, really love, like, makes you bread and brings it to you. When they made that bread, they were like, I love this person. I'm making this bread for this person. And as human beings on a subconscious level, we are receiving that consciousness in a form of fractals. Now, not only is it physical stuff, but it's also things we create, paintings, music. For me, I saw a great example of this in music. And it took me a long time to figure it out. I used to work for this company where I wrote for Sync for ad music. And we had a lot of success together. But the most fascinating thing about where the success came from, the success came from the first like 10 songs that we did. And I believe the reason is because we were having fun. We weren't worried about money. We were just in the studio, genuinely having fun, putting a piece of our soul into these things. So on the other side, when somebody's receiving it, whether it's for a Starbucks commercial and you're hearing it as a consumer, or whether you're in the ad agency business and you're hitting play to listen to that song, I believe that the consciousness that we put in there is received on the other side. Because when we started chasing certain ideas and songs that were like, oh, this could be good for a Target commercial, those ones didn't really do well because we weren't intentionally having that joy and having that fun. And still to this day, those songs, now that like 8 or 9 years old, they're still getting attention because I believe we were putting our consciousness as fractals into that music. You could hear it. You could hear it on the other end. So what I think is really important is that when you are creating something or when you're having an interaction with a person, to the basic level of whether you have an interaction with your dog, if you take the time to consciously pay attention and say it with the intention of consciousness. An example would be, I love you, or I really love you. Which one do you believe more? It's the second one, because in my heart, I'm thinking about somebody I love, or I'm saying it to somebody that I love. So you need to be conscious of how you're being perceived out there, especially in a parent situation or in a family situation. We can get complacent, and I'm going to talk about habits and intentions in a later podcast, but we can get complacent and we can forget how deeply grateful we are for the things that we do have, because that's the hedonic treadmill. That's how it works. We get used to things and then we want more things to light us up. So try not to take advantage and really use the power of gratitude to find your true feelings about something, or when you're making something for somebody, be conscious, be in it. Don't be doing a million other things while you're doing whatever. It's like, take a moment to pause. And I'm really hoping that when AI is created and as it gets created, that these kind of conscious fractals are being put into AI so that that human being thing, that consciousness, is going to come across in a way like a human would, because subconsciously we're looking at people's intentions all around us, and we're looking at their energy, and we're just judging everything for safety and for other reasons. But it's just how we're wired, and we subconsciously can feel when somebody really means something. That would be your gut instinct, which I've talked about before, which is your healthy gut instinct. We can feel when somebody's lying, we can feel when somebody's not being truthful, and that is in the way they deliver the message. So try, when you're interacting with the world, or when you're making something, piece of music, if you're, find a way to really be present and be conscious and find the joy in what you're doing. And if it means that today's a day where you just build a toolkit or fix your house or whatever, that's fine. But try to really understand that what you put into that is what's going to be received on the other end, whether it's "I love you" or whether it's a piece of music. Fractals exist, they're in there. And it's the perfect balance of what's above and what's below. As above, so below. Chaos, order. Right in that middle center is where we want to create from. So happy creating, no matter what it is, whether it's words, bread, or music. I just be conscious. And I think that it's really going to be a big game shifter for you and for the people that are receiving it on the other end. So until next time, peace and love. Thank you so much for listening. If you're new to meditation, experienced with meditation, or looking for a new one to add to your collection, go to creataholics.us to download my free custom meditation, A Glowing Heart. It'll guide you on a journey with handcrafted music to bring light and energy to our most valuable asset, our heart. Peace and love.